5-5, and kind of looking at the schedule and some of the results, gave up a lot of points in the losses. How much focus has there been on the defense, and in what ways do you guys hope to improve this upcoming season on that side of the ball?
I think the way for us, it's not been such a focus on defense. It's more been a focus on how do we get stronger across the board to be competitive with the better teams in our conference, and that's been our mindset since last November when we kicked off our off season. We had to get bigger, we had to get a little faster, we had to get mentally tougher, and part of giving up a lot of points is you can't keep the ball in offense either. So we've made some changes on our defensive side of the ball. Coach James Blankenship, who's a long-time coach at Boonville, is our new defense coordinator. So we'll bring a little bit different system with Coach Blank. We've got a lot of new guys on our roster that we hopefully will fill some of the needs. Last year, the biggest kid we had on our roster was 220 pounds, and the smallest kid that we'll start up front this year is about 240. So it'll be a different looking roster. We've recruited a lot of kids out of our hallways. Coach Maul runs a really good wrestling program in North Posey. We've hit the wrestling mats and pulled some kids out of his program to help a football program. But right now we've probably got 8 or 9 guys on our roster that weren't on our roster last year that are projected to start or play quite a bit.
I've seen some pictures online. Obviously, a new turf field being implemented there looks pretty sharp. Can't be pretty excited about that.
Oh yeah. I mean that's something that kids from kindergarten all through high school are really excited about the changes. I think the last time there was any kind of athletic upgrades at North Posey was probably in the 80s. So with new press boxes, new bleachers, new turf field, a new indoor practice facility that will be started here in the next couple weeks, new locker room facilities. Our community's done the right thing, and they've really invested in our young athletes, and hopefully these guys will take advantage of that and produce on the field.
I believe the field just got finished, correct? Is it completely done, or are they still working on it?
The turf's down. They got the field they still got to put in. They told me they would be packed up and out of there by Wednesday, so just in time for us to kick off official practice next week.
I have to imagine a lot of your practice will be on that turf. Will it take some getting used to, you think? Will there be a big difference?
Yeah, I mean, it'll take a little bit getting used to. We do a lot of our scrimmages this summer. A lot of it's been on turf. Our kids have played on turf. Some of our conference schools already have it with Southern and Southridge. So, not as different as it used to be, back when we were playing. But it's definitely takes some getting used to. It'll be a lot easier on our coaching staff. No more painting lines and doing all that stuff. So it'll be nice.
All right, questions from the media?
Coach, one piece that helps to have back is a 1,000-yard rusher, Zach. Just what does he bring to the table, and what you need to do?
Well, with Zach, first thing with Zach, he's not a very big guy, but he's put on about 12 pounds of good weight in the off season. He's a lot stronger than he was last year, and Zach really didn't come to us until about mid-July last year. We finally talked him into coming out and playing, and about week 5, he became our full-time starter. So the majority of those 1,000 yards came, in the last 5 games of the year. He's not missed a workout since November. He's been there all summer. I think he gets the system a lot better now than what he got last year. Rather than him asking what he's supposed to be doing, he's telling some of the other guys what to do. So last year he was just relying on pure athleticism and doing his own thing. I think this year he really gets what's going on with football. And we expect a big year out of him. And in all honesty, he rushed for 1,000 yards behind a very below average, probably O-line. We've got a really good tight end that we've talked into coming out this year. We've got 2 kids who transferred in that are both over 260 pounds on the O-line. Our tight end's bigger than any offensive lineman we had last year. So I think you'll see Zach's going to put up bigger numbers this year, partly a result from the hard work he's put into the offseason, but also with a much improved front 6 up front.
And Zach, now you're in year 2 after coming out pretty late last year. Just how more comfortable are you, and just how do you feel like this team is progressing?
I think with the bigger kids, bigger line, I think we'll be a lot better. We're hard work. With all the practices we've had, I know who plays a lot better, and I think our whole team knows who plays a lot better.
And Johnson, how do you see this team coming together? Because 5-5 record last year, but Coach mentioned some improvements need to be made.
I think we got all the pieces this year. We got a lot more fight than we had last year. We're starting to come together really strong in this last few weeks of summer.
Coach, you're also the AD, and all the talk this summer was realignment. Just how do you feel like, what was it like being in the middle of all that and trying to piece all that together, what was best for North Posey?
Oh, well, it was a challenge. First of all, being the AD, and then when you go into the AD meetings and you're talking about football, a lot of that gets directed at you as the football coach too. And it was hard. We probably threw 6 or 7 different scenarios out there. At one point, we thought, Jasper and Vincennes were going to join the PAC, and we had this alignment. And then at one point, we thought Boonville and Gibson Southern were leaving, and so it's just been different scenario after different scenario, and it seemed like there for about 2 months, it changed every other week. So it was a lot of time and a lot of effort. We feel like we did try to do best by everybody. A lot of the smaller schools in the PAC had their wish list. Some of the bigger schools in the PAC had their wish list. You see the Big 8 breakup, and Jasper and Vincennes go to the SIC, and you got 4 schools out there, and you start thinking about kids. We're in this business to help kids, and it was hard for our administrations across the board to say, well, those 4 schools are just going to be without a conference. So you took that into consideration as well. You start talking to ADs, and they're getting wish lists from their head coaches. This is what we'd like our non-conference schedule to look like, and then you try to piece it all together. And man, it was really challenging. We're still working out a few kinks, but I think at the end of the day, we have a pretty exciting future in our conference. You're adding 4 bigger schools. You're giving, like Coach B said, some more flexibility to your smaller schools to play games that they feel a little more competitive, and will bring their programs back to get their numbers up, be more competitive in the postseason. So from North Posey's standpoint, our schedule was probably the last one I worked on, because you wanted to make sure you took care of everybody in their wish list, and then you look at yours and you're like, oh, we got to do ours too. But I like our schedule. I think it cuts down a little bit on some travel. I think it creates some opportunities to bring in some bigger gates and to have bigger crowds. For instance, for us, week 2 next year, we'll be playing Princeton going forward. And with my background at Princeton and having some friends still up there on the staff, it gave us some opportunities to create some unique matchups and change some things. So I'm happy with how it all worked out. Hopefully the other coaches are as well. And it's just another new exciting thing I think North Posey football is going to have going forward. Our new facilities, you get a new conference, and our community is excited about it.
All right, that concludes the session for North Posey Vikings. Thanks, guys, and best of luck.